It's coffee break. Okay.
Woohoo! Another week.
Yeah. October. It's finally October.
Yes! Yeah! It's getting chilly. Finally. A
Yep.
cold chill.
It was a brisk ride into work this morning.
An ominous, spooky feeling in the middle of the night when the dog has to pee.
It's nice.
Yeah, finally. We were having really nice dead grass, but then it all got watered. And so there's just patches of weird bright green grass, which, I like the
Well,
dead
it got
grass.
watered because of that broken line
Yeah.
that we talked about last week.
Listen to last week's episode if you want the story about the water catastrophe.
Yeah. What'd you do? What are you doing this week? What's going on?
It started. It's official. I'm doing daily episodic Ruby reviews for
Cool.
every day of October. It's very exciting. This is a challenge I've thought about for a couple years now, and everything's kind of lined up for it to work out now, and I'm excited.
Nice.
A lot of people, when I announced it, a lot of people were like, "Don't burn out. Don't burn yourself out." And everything is already edited. I already edited every video. I'm gonna be fine, so don't worry about me.
Yeah, and you got strangers hating on you?
No. One person was like, "Are you single?" And I was like, "Nah."
No, tell the story.
Well, there's not really much story to tell. I was just walking home. The only thing on my mind was tacos, because I was having tacos for lunch. And I heard someone behind me, and they're like, "Oh, hey." And I look, and I'm like, "Oh, they probably need directions or something." I don't know how helpful I can be, because I don't know where anything is, but I can try. And as I approach, I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I don't mean to bother you, but are you single?"
Creep.
It's the thing that makes it creepy. He seemed fine, I can't judge off of the no interaction I had with this person.
Mm-hmm.
The creepy thing is don't ask someone out when they're walking and you're in a car. Like, that's just a creepy power imbalance right there.
It is. It's a really disturbing thing.
And it was a low car, to be fair, a very low, cruddy looking car. But, like,
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's not right.
You seem very offended by it.
No, you just don't do that. That's just wrong. You don't, that's not how you approach people. In general. If you're just asking them for something, you don't creep up on them in a car and be like, "Hey, are you single?"
I was like, "Hey, person I randomly see, like, the first woman I see. Are you single?"
Yeah, for me, I finished up Mafia.
Yeah.
I had to do it for myself. I just had to. I'm taking a long break from Power On.
Yeah.
Yep. I was going to do Assassin's Creed, this new one that's coming out this week, but I've decided against that. I'm going to wait to get Assassin's Creed on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Nice.
It'll probably be on sale. Probably won't be. I don't know.
I said,
That used to be a thing and doesn't seem to be much anymore.
yeah, well, people, like, it wasn't working anymore, and also no one wanted to do it that way anymore. It's not a fun experience. And so corporations and consumers are like, maybe we just shouldn't.
Okay. I remember you used to get the new game that was like $60 for $45.
Yeah.
And that's rarely a thing. Relocating baby.
Just don't want him bumping into the power cords.
Actually, baby, get out.
Move, baby. Go. Yeah, a game for $45, but never Nintendo.
Nope.
It's never gonna be Nintendo. They have never done that.
But if you buy a new Switch, you can get Mario Kart 8.
When did that game come out?
Every year that's been the deal.
Yeah.
And it's
but
like, stop.
it's been so long. And they finally wrapped up their DLC, and it wasn't even anything good. It was like Funky Kong and King Boo, which every time they announced a new DLC character, I sat there and went, "That's not already a character in the game?"
In the app game, yes.
Yeah.
As for me, I am still working on Garbage Eggs.
Yep.
But I got sidetracked.
That'll happen.
I got reunited with the new season of Secret of Skinwalker Ranch,
Woo.
which you promised me you weren't going to make fun of. and instantly trashed it.
Okay, I bit my tongue.
No, you didn't.
For a while.
No, you didn't.
I waited until the end of the episode.
An hour.
They made just such. Oh my, okay,
what,
so they. Okay, you
what
explain.
happens is they catch this orb, very blurry orb thing in the sky. And the lead scientist, who was also the lead scientist of the UAP task force for the Pentagon, who is in the show and working with them, he's like, I drew up or created this 3D model of what I think it would look like. Mm-hmm. And then you automatically show me a Pokeball.
Yep.
What else did you show me?
I showed you a Newton's Cradle.
Yep.
I showed you that famous MC Escher picture. That's his self-portrait where he's looking at the reflection of himself in like a ball.
Yeah, an orb.
Yep.
And then I turned it off because I'm like, she's just being a jerk.
Well, we also had to make food.
I was making food. 5 minutes later, not even 5 minutes later.
Nope.
You're like, come upstairs. And on your, what do you call that editing program?
Blender.
You just created it again.
I did. It was very simple. I couldn't not make fun of it because the picture is so blurry. It's impossible to make any distinguishing features, and I'm just amazed that they went the distance of like making this model. It's just a spear, like a metallic orb, but there's like a little bit of like a cylinder in the middle of it. It looks a lot like a Pokeball, what they ended up making.
And 2 indents on the side.
If you Google, I found this out when I was looking at pictures to tease you with it about.
Yeah.
If you Google metallic sphere, it's one of the first images that'll pop up.
It's probably the one he made.
No, it's also with the screenshot of the thing from the show, so you can see just how much of a leaps and bounds it was.
Wow.
I try not to make fun of your shows too much.
Yeah, well, you still did.
I'm sorry. It was too easy.
Anyways, going back to Garbage Eggs, I am working on it. Mm-hmm. I will be alone on this one. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to get all the research right and not over-explore other things.
You see that.
It will make more sense when it gets released, but basically, you're going to get 2 Garbage Eggs this month.
I feel like it's going to be a really long one.
I don't think so.
Because
Because I cut out half the monsters.
Yeah, but still.
And I was like, I can't talk about these. This would have to be its own thing, which would take me forever to do anyways.
You're a thorough individual.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get it all right. I need to get the pronunciations, the spellings. It's a whole ordeal. Mm-hmm. It will eventually come out. Just maybe not this Friday. I'm aiming for this Friday. It could be next Friday, honestly.
We'll I'm excited for it.
Me too. I'm also stressing it hard. Yeah, football season's back. And let's get straight into it. Football. I know, you came here to listen to me talk about football.
What they really came here for is to listen about Taylor Swift and football.
And how much that bothered me. And then I read an article today about it. So Sunday night's game, October 1st of 2023, it was the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. You would know Patrick Mahomes from all the Subway ads.
He does so many commercials. He's in every commercial.
And then his tight end, Khalees, I can't remember his first name, is dating Taylor Swift. Now, they're playing the night game against the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. They're in the Jets stadium.
Yeah.
The entire stadium is red, even though the Jets color is green.
Yep.
Because all these fans showed up for the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the people there is Taylor Swift. Okay?
Yeah,
she was in the last game.
Yeah, she's dating one of the players. Makes sense.
She's dating Khalees.
Yep.
Right? But they kept... The switchboard monitor kept switching over to her.
Yeah.
And she's just watching a game, hanging out with friends. And they're like, yeah, look at Taylor. She's so cool.
That's so weird.
Back to the game. It was so bizarre at one point, because it went into overtime. The game was good. I think it was rigged, though, just because of Taylor and all this bullshit. And I'll get into that really quick. Mm. The play is over. It's obviously going to be an ad break. Before we get to the ad break, they switch over to just show Taylor for like 3 seconds and then go into ad. And it's like, what the
People are creepily obsessed with Taylor. I cannot express. I like Taylor Swift. I think her music's more often than not good.
Yes, I like her music too. I don't think she's that great.
She has some really fantastic songs, but some people are... It's scary how cultishly obsessed her fan base is. There was a video I saw today for all over Twitter. I am so mad at how much of my Twitter feed is just football people I do not care about and Taylor Swift because she's dating a football person. And I'm like, why is this Elon Musk? I don't like this. Why is it on my For You page? I've blocked so many sport accounts. I don't want more sports.
So, the game that I'm talking about had an increase of viewership not only amongst females, which was a huge rise in it, just for Taylor, but also so many people watched that game last night that it rivaled a Super Bowl.
That's so weird.
Views. It is bizarre. It was not that great of a game. It's a middle of the season. Not even. We're at the beginning. It's week 4. It's not like it mattered too much, and
it's just because Taylor's
there. It was there, yeah.
That's so weird. That's so creepy.
Yeah.
Like, if I was Taylor, I'd be really freaked out. I would stop going to games, because that's just weird.
And here's the thing. Now the NFL's like, oh, we got our golden boys. So you remember the age of the Patriots? And how they were everywhere?
Yep.
This is going to be the age of the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to make it to the Super Bowl, and it's going to primarily be because that got them a lot of views.
Are they going to make it to the Super Bowl?
Well, they might make it close.
They got to play those Dolphins.
I know.
The Dolphins were pretty brutal.
Oh, that's weird. Weird. That Taylor Swift fanaticism is creepy.
It is. It's really, really disturbing. As for football, my Cardinals suck, so I have nothing to say there. In fact, I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
Halfway through. I started it, went, nope, this is going to be a very depressing game. Went on to watch other things, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about the cult of Taylor Swift and how creepy they are.
Yep.
Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
Wraps up today, as this episode is being aired.
It finally got good. Like, the last 3 episodes got really good.
Yep.
And it's such a shame, because I understand why the first, 7 episodes were what they are. Because we got to set up all the elements of it. But I don't know, man.
I like that 9th episode because it showed us Paul Rudd's character was not a complete asshole like we thought he was.
Also, amazing performance from Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
He does so good. He's such a good actor. It's so not fair.
Him and his 5 whores.
Yeah. It makes sense. You need to watch the episode. But no, it's also because, the thing I like about the show is 2 quirky old fellows and a girl who's old at heart solving crimes. That's the fun part. And most of the season was about them just arguing with each other about stupid things. And I'm like, I like the detective work. I like it when you do things.
I was listening to another podcast today. And it was their new episode, and they were talking to a fellow comedian. And the comedian, he was talking about, he had a scene on the show, like in season 2. I can't remember where his character was. But he was like, he's talking about the Martins. He said they are masters of improv.
Yeah.
He said the one scene that they were supposed to film got cut because of all the improv that they did.
Dang.
Because they were just so good. They were like, we don't even need the scene we wrote. We've got a better scene.
I did see a video on TikTok before the season actually started, this 3rd one. It was Selena Gomez, and she was talking about how she has all her lines memorized. And she's going over, it's like, did you memorize your lines? And Steve Martin's like, no. And she turns to Martin Short's like, did you remember yours? Like, no, but we have this. And they go to their board that they have, like, their murder mystery stuff on.
Yeah.
And they turn it around, and it's just the script posted on the back of it.
Yeah, so apparently these guys are just some of the best in Hollywood.
Not surprising.
And they do work very well together. Mm-hmm. And she somehow fits really well with them.
She does. I never would have guessed. Like, it's such a good combo, the 3 of them.
Yeah. So who was the murderer?
I solved it. I did it. I solved it.
No, you solved a piece of it.
Well, Yeah, no, I solved all of it. I figured it out.
You still think it's the mom of the producer?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't think so.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's someone that's been there pretty obviously. Like the stage, not the stage director.
Which one?
It's a girl. We saw her in one episode.
The like shorter, angrier
Yes.
lady? Yeah.
And then like she can really fix her attitude.
Maybe.
It's just because of how weird that character is, and it's like we only saw them that one time. Sorry, I hit something.
It's the thing is, it made an amazing looking like wavelength on the audio.
That's kind of weird.
The thing is, I think the mother did it the first time, but that didn't succeed in killing him.
No.
So, but I don't know if she did it the second time. I wonder if her son did it the second time to cover up what she had attempted to do.
There's that. I would really like it if he wasn't even murdered. If he just accidentally fell down the elevator shaft.
That was a thing
Remember we were talking about that as a screw you to the audience? Like you overthought this?
There was going to be an attempted murder, but it didn't work, and then he just fell and died on accident.
Yeah. That would be a funny outcome for it.
It would be. It finally got good. The last 3 episodes got really good.
Yeah, so if you're not watching it, go check it out on Hulu. If you are, this is it.
The show's better to binge. Anyway, you know.
Some are. Some shows are way better to binge.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stunt actress or stunt extra in Batgirl, the movie that got canceled.
Yeah, the movie that never was.
Yep. That got trashed by Warner Brothers.
But we sure did get the Flash, though.
She was on a motorcycle, and another motorcycle hit her, and she went flying in the air. She broke her hip.
Damn.
Her shin.
Dang.
Her thumb.
Ooh.
She had a major gash on her head.
She lived.
She lived. I quote her here. She said, "I would rather have died than recover from this."
Ooh.
And it took them an hour to get her off the ground.
Woof.
And this is another extra, like standing there watching it, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Warner Brothers heard that there might be retaliation for this, and then they killed the film.
Yeah, well.
So something went on right there. It could be 2 separate incidences, but now this woman who got hurt very badly, she's living day to day saying everything is painful, everything hurts, and she's going to sue them.
She should.
And I think she's going to win.
Get them for all you can.
And, in order to pay for that, you need to have Ghost Adventures come out with a 3rd season this year. Since 2 obviously wasn't enough, but you can cancel all your other shows.
Yeah, of
oh
course.
My God.
They canceled all the other shows just to make more
And I'm going to
room
watch it, too.
for Ghost Adventures. I couldn't even. Usually I watch it to make fun of it. I'm sorry. I always make fun of your shows. Usually I watch it to make fun of it because it's goofy, but it just got to the point where it was so obnoxious how bad it all was.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's still bad.
Ugh.
It's fun to learn the history side. That part I really like.
Even then, they don't do the history good. Because in the middle of their, doing the history part, Zach will be like, "What was that?
Yep.
Did you hear that? We gotta throw this in the middle of our interviews now."
Last season, which was over the summer, they went to King Gillette Ranch. And I was like, Gillette?
Oh, you
King.
did? I do remember you telling me about this. Yeah.
And you'll see ads for it. It'll say King Gillette, and it's a whole new lineup from Gillette. And the guy who created Gillette, the brand, that is his last name, and his first name is actually King.
That's a cool name.
It is cool. And he created a razor blade that you can swap out the razors, and it was the first of its kind, and that's why they became so big and massive.
Dope.
So there's a little fun fact there. At one point, he owned this ranch in California, but I don't know if we could believe Zach beyond that. Probably
it's
not.
Definitely haunted.
Because they're like, well, he owned it, and then it went over to somebody else who was not connected to him, and they started a cult.
You do.
What? What does this have to do with Gillette, then?
The Travel Channel's just sweating bullets. Like, how can we market this?
Yeah. Oh. It's okay. Just a few more weeks. Project Fear will come back.
Yeah.
Jason Blum of Blumhouse
Yes.
is planning a Spawn. Yes, Spawn.
Spawn?
McFarlane's Spawn.
Really?
They're going to reboot it, and it's scheduled for 2025.
Wow.
Now, I know a lot of people did not like the original live action from the 90s. I saw it in theaters with my dad, because we watched a lot of B-rate movies. I've talked about that. I had it on VHS.
I don't think I've ever actually seen it.
The CGI does not live up well.
I imagine.
But I liked it. I still like it. I don't know much about Spawn, to be honest. And they made some weird choices. How Spawn used to be a white guy, and in the movie they turned him into a black guy.
Yeah.
There's a creepy clown who's actually the devil. And one of the scariest scenes, and it's all practical, is he's wandering around with Spawn. And Spawn's like all disheveled. He's like a burn victim. Mm-hmm. He's afraid to go back home.
Okay.
Because of the way he looks. And this clown, like, they're underneath a bridge. He finds a pizza box and opens it up. And there's old pizza with maggots on it.
Ew.
And he, like, picks it up and starts eating it.
No.
Oh, yeah. And you see them moving around. And when I watched it again, maybe 5 years ago, I was like, it still lives up to being gross.
Ugh, yuck.
But the CGI again. I don't know how many of you guys seen Spawn. I don't even know where you could find it.
I appreciate Blumhouse, because it's Blumhouse, right?
Yep.
I appreciate Blumhouse for just doing things. You know, reaching out, doing stuff.
Well, they got another thing going on.
We're going to get Five Nights at Freddy's soon. Is that what it is?
Is that what it... Are they part of that?
Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah, it's Blumhouse. Yeah.
Okay. But no, not Five Nights at Freddy's. At Freddy's, whatever. Oh, Freddy's, at Freddy's, and
Five
Freddy's.
Nights on Freddy's.
What are they doing to Freddy?
No.
Why does it take them 5 nights? No, they're going to make games.
Oh. Interesting.
They want to make video games. And he said in an interview, Jason, that they're going to focus on new IPs instead of making games based on their old movies.
I think that is a smart decision.
He didn't count out the possibility of making games based on, say, like Megan. But he said he wants to focus on new original stories.
Good idea, I'd say. So then you don't go in with any preconceived notions or expectations. You can just accept it for what it is.
My thing is, I'd be scared to make games, especially in this economy.
I don't know, maybe some competition might be a good way to shake things up. You know who I was thinking about, like, yesterday, who I'm surprised hasn't started making video games yet? The Critical Role team.
Oh, well, you can already play their game.
Yeah, but they, yes. But they have also, like, board games and stuff. And they keep, like, expanding and dabbling in new things. And I'm just amazed they haven't ventured into the world of doing something video game related.
What's the most D&D game to come out recently?
Baldur's Gate 3!
And how long did that take to make?
A long time.
Yeah.
Neil Newborn, the guy he also voices Heisenberg in Resident Evil Village.
I don't know that game. You keep pretending like I do, and I keep telling you I don't know what that is.
You can't say it seriously. He voices a character, one of the main companions you have in the game. I was watching an interview with him, and he was talking about like how he did the voice lines like back in 2019 or something. Like it's been that
For Baldur's Gate?
Mm-hmm. It's been that long for them to like just build the game.
Yeah, I mean, even a simple app like Monster Hunter Now, which I'm still playing.
I'm loving it. It's great.
I'm going through the chapters getting all the monsters.
I'm trying to get Malachite ore. I want to unlock the bat. The big flying...
Yeah, you gotta keep doing the chapters.
I know, I'm trying.
It's not hard to do it. You just need to go out of your way and take care of some stuff.
Yes.
And, you know, just a nice brisk little walk in the winter or fall.
The hard part's remembering to turn the app on when I'm going. Because for a long time I had a cruddy old phone that you couldn't really do that with.
Yep.
But now I do, and I never remember.
I open up Pikmin, and then I start them planting flowers. Mm-hmm. And then I open up Pokemon.
Yep.
And I make sure that I have my Palamount or Palmont out. Mm-hmm, so he can walk around and get hearts with me so I can make him my best friend.
Yep.
And then I just play Monster Hunter. And I got all 3 apps running, and it drains my battery.
I bet.
I was gone for what, 9 hours today?
Mm-hmm.
Left with 100% battery, came home with a 43%.
Dang.
But I'm also listening to podcasts while doing all this.
You're definitely getting the most out of your phone.
Oh yeah, I need a new one.
I need wireless headphones. That's gonna be the thing. Once I have a little bit of spending money, I think it'll be next week or the week after, getting myself wireless headphones. Then people can't shout out to me and ask me if I'm single while I'm walking down the road, because I won't hear them.
Nice.
I'll just pleasantly ignore their existence.
Okay, it's Box Office Trolls.
Box office trolls. Woohoo!
We're gonna do some reviews here.
Yes.
So what did I do when I wasn't watching the Cardinals? I'm glad you asked. I went over to Netflix.
Yep.
And I started watching a little show called Castlevania.
It's so good.
Nocturne.
I didn't expect them to be better.
It's a sequel series to Castlevania.
Yes.
It takes place 300 years later?
Yeah, it's not like a direct sequel. They do reference things. Like, they mention names, for example. But you don't need to watch the original in order to watch this one. You should. It's great.
Yeah, no.
Second season's only okay.
The second season's probably the worst one.
Uh-huh.
No, it's the third season. The third season's the boring one.
One of them. Yes, yeah, third season. Third season was boring.
Because the second season's when you get his other companions.
Yeah, second season when things, pick up, and they have more than 4 episodes.
If you haven't seen it, viewer discretion is advised. It is incredibly gory.
Yes, but it's so cool.
It's very well done.
It was so beautiful. I didn't expect, and the story was done really well, and the characters were done really well.
The night creatures were the coolest part.
Mm-hmm.
There are some night creatures where I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you need to put that in my mind?
It's like the one whose mouth went all the way down.
Well, their head was attached. It's attached to their neck, but their neck is long like a snake, and then their head was elongated like a snout, but it opened up all the way.
There's one that looks like 100-hander, but they hold their hand. It's like their arms are backwards, and they're just holding their hands down the length of their spine.
Yep.
Backward is creepy and cool. I loved it.
Or the one guy who became one, he has his own arms, but then he has hands that come out of his
neck, kind of like a collar.
Yeah, and then they cover his eyes, but he can also open them up so he can see.
It is really so good. Amazing. I didn't expect it to be better than the original Castlevania was.
Yep.
I'm already on the edge of my seat. Can't wait for season 2.
Richter, being famous from Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah.
He shows off some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He gets stupidly powerful. Ulrix?
Yeah.
An American vampire. A Native American vampire.
Awesome. I love his actor. Don't remember his name. Amazing actor.
And he's the Native American guy that's in everything.
Yeah, he's in
Dark Winds.
Yep.
Reservation Dogs.
Yep. He was in something else recently too. I can't remember what
I don't think he's in Yellowstone.
He's better than Yellowstone.
True. That was great. And it takes place during the French Revolution.
Yeah, beautiful animation.
Where
Everyone's designs were great.
The oligarchy of France is actually vampiric.
Yeah. There's so many vampires. It was...
You like that ending, huh?
It was really...
I won that bet.
Because, yeah, you did.
I was
lost.
Where's my boy? I know he's going to show up.
Something happens at the very end, and I didn't think it was going to happen.
I knew he was still around.
I would have guessed the other one would have showed up.
Also, I thought it was him who was narrating the trailer. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you know who I'm talking about, yes, he's there. But he only shows up at the very end. And of course, does something really badass.
As you would expect. What else did we watch?
Okay. Mr. Toad?
Yeah, the classic. The classic animated.
Mr. Toad is a little shit.
He's just mean to his friends.
Yep. He causes nothing but mischief.
He like trades his estate for a car, and then goes to jail for fraud or something.
It was wacky. Oh, he also just looks weird.
He does. It's a weird one because like there's animals and like some of them, it's implied they're animal sized, but then there's also some people that are like also like Mr. Winky was the same size as those weasels, but in the beginning, when Ratty got his mail, the mailman was like the size of a human compared to a rat. It was weird. Yeah. I feel like they lost the plot during that one.
It's one of those old Disney movies. And it was paired up with the legend of Ichabod Crane and Sleepy Hollow. The Headless Horseman.
It's once the Headless Horseman shows up, really good.
It's super boring.
Yes.
Ichabod's not that great.
He's also
kind of a creep.
He's also a jerk. Like you were, I think, doing something like making food or something. Mm-hmm. He's like daydreaming about the girl Katerina or whatever her name was, Katrina, and it was just she's so pretty and her dad's rich and he has a lot of money and I would have so much money. Oh, but she's so pretty and all that money. And I'm like, what? You're a terrible character.
So Ichabod goes out into Sleepy Hollow, which is a forest nearby Sleepy Hollow.
No, the town's called Sleepy Hollow?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a real place. You can look it up.
They went to a Halloween party.
Well, he runs into the Headless Horseman. And the animation just goes up like 100%. You're like, whoa, that's where you saved the budget.
Yeah.
Because he is intense. And he's on his horse, and he's got a sword, and of course he's carrying a jack-o'-lantern for his head.
And it's like so Ichabod has cartoonish, goofy features. He barely looks human. Yeah. Because of how they designed him.
He looks like a humanoid Mr. Toad.
And honestly, yes. And a lot of the characters have like exaggerated cartoony features. And then the Headless Horseman shows up, and he looks human. And it makes him scarier.
Yeah. Oh, the girl that he's fallen in love with, she looks exactly like Cinderella.
Yeah, but with like a 7 times bigger chest.
Bosom.
The best part of it was I realized that I had missed out on a very obvious pun for a very long time. There's this one YouTube animated series I watch called No Evil, where it takes a bunch of like inspiration from various folklore and stuff. There's a character who is a crane who is named Icky, and I was like, Icky's an interesting name. And then it's like, oh, it's Ichabod. And it's like, that's an interesting name. And then like, oh, it's Ichabod Crane. I'm so dumb.
Wow.
The name Icky caught me off guard.
Ichabod's such an old name. I don't think anyone uses it anymore.
It's like, what was that one? What's Bucky's name? Buchanan.
Yeah, Buchanan.
It was one of those old names I just don't do anymore.
Ulysses? Ulysses, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, just some weird names. Mm-hmm. Especially back then. It's so weird, especially for me as an American, that these are American names. Yeah. And I don't know anyone named that.
Nah, the evolution of like the popularity of names is fascinating to me. You know, and it's things like popular characters will like.
Hold on, the click is me turning on a light.
Yay! The popularity of a character will save a name. Like, how many people do you think got named Robert or Steve or Tony because of the popularity of Marvel? You know.
No.
Yes.
No.
I think so.
No.
Because you know what's interesting? No one names their kid.
Stop.
No.
Stop. Okay, stop.
What?
The reson why they have those names is because they were so popular when Stan Lee wrote them.
But no, I'm saying now
they were already popular names. There's still people called Robert,
I know.
I'm saying Bruce.
Now there's a new resurgence. Like, they continue their popularity. They don't become lost to time.
I don't think anyone's naming their kid.
Maybe, because people don't name their kids Bella or Edward anymore.
Those were just dumb names to begin with. And I'm sure there's Bellas out there, and I'm sure there's Edwards out there.
Maybe, but I feel like pop culture and the popularity of certain characters does influence whether or not names stick around.
It would be like Brad and Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany and Jason.
Are you referencing specific people with Brittany and Jason?
Yeah, I'm Pain and Panic.
Are you just making fun of me? Or no, I don't understand what you're saying.
It's a line in Hercules where Pain and Panic go. You remember the other year when everyone named their daughter...
Yes, they do say that. There was always a Jennifer or a Brittany.
It was like Brittany, and then they named the boys Jason. All disgusted, like. And then it's a 90s joke about kids being named that.
Yeah, like if you look at studies, when Friends was getting really popular, the like names of like Joey and Monica, those names got more popular as Friends was gaining popularity because people were just naming their kids after their favorite characters.
That's creepy.
I mean, how many Taylors do you think are out there because of the obsession with Swift?
It's so disturbing.
Yeah.
It's just music, not a culture.
She's not that groundbreaking, guys.
Okay, on to better things. Kitchen Nightmares has returned.
Yeah.
And it was good.
I was so pleased. I was very prepared. I thought it was going to be bad and boring, and I was amazed at how entertained I was.
Yep. It was Kitchen Nightmares. He brought it right back.
Yeah, it just that again.
That it doesn't have to be more, doesn't have to be less. It was just Kitchen Nightmares. Except for this time, he didn't lose his shit.
Yeah, like he got like firm and frustrated when needed, but screaming or craziness or whatever.
No
over dramatics.
No, I mean he had one moment with one of the sons of the business where he told him stop lying to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But he was just being firm with him.
It made me like really realize what I didn't like about 24 Hours, Hell on Wheels or whatever.
Hell and Back.
Yeah.
Hell on Wheels is a Western.
Whatever.
And the main character's name is Buchanan.
Is it really?
Yes.
No, the thing I didn't like about that version, which was basically just Kitchen Nightmares again, but it did way worse, was in that version, Gordon didn't spend as much time reviewing the food, which is the funnest part, because he would always like get all up in a costume and
what was going on with that menu? There was over 200 items on the menu. It was like a book.
45 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, he asked one of the waiters to name off, or was it one of the kitchen staff? Where he's like, "What's item like 142?" And they're like, I don't know. And he told them exactly what it was. And he's like, I've studied the book more than you.
He's a little fool.
And I've been here for one day.
That's just a bad sign. And then another thing was that he didn't try to play therapist. Like, he had, like, a therapy moment where it's like, you two need to work together. But he didn't, like, spend, like, an egregious amount of time being like, let me fix your relationship. Which was another thing I was not a fan of.
What he did is he took them to his restaurant. Mm-hmm. And he showed them his recipe on how to make fish and chips.
Yeah.
He was like, you need to work on the basics before you can even attempt other things. Like they had that French dish on there.
Coq au vin. Which no one could pronounce.
I've never even heard of it until then.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, okay.
Why put it on the menu if you don't even know, like...
It's going to be a fun season.
Yes.
If this keeps going, it's just going to be a fun new season of Kitchen Nightmares. And I'm glad this is the one that he decided to bring back.
In stark comparison, though, we also got a new season of flying in under the radar. No one was announcing this. Hell's Kitchen is back.
Yeah.
And suddenly.
And the theme of this one is America.
Yeah, it is so egregiously American.
They're showing us what happens later in the season, and I was just like, it's too much.
It really reminds you that this is, in fact, on Fox.
Yeah, they wanted to really put that in your head. Now, speaking of a show to binge, Kitchen Nightmares. Not Kitchen Nightmares, Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep watching it. I'm just going to wait for it to finish off, and then when I have a down Saturday, there's my whole Saturday.
That's the way to do it.
And I can get through the whole thing, and I don't have to wait and be bored.
Yeah, because also you spend barely any time with the contestants, and it's like, who are you? I don't remember. One thing, I don't see it on your list, but Lego Masters.
Oh, I forgot about Lego Masters.
Season 4, baby!
Will Arnett.
Yes, a treasure.
Is having too much fun.
He loves it. And Amy and Jamie love it.
Yep.
It's a precious show.
I love that he almost ran that motorcycle into the table.
yeah.
And then struggled to stop him when he got to his mark.
And you can see, like everyone was like, it's so fun. It's a great show. That's another great one to binge. If you haven't watched the first 3 seasons, you should. They're great fun for the family.
You don't even have to watch it like, oh, I'm a hardcore Lego or brick builder. Mm-hmm. Brick masters are these people. Where this is their life. This is their hobby. This is what they do. Especially when you see their house. Mm-hmm. Like some people build like separate add-ons to the house just for their Legos.
Yeah, like their whole garage is just dedicated to it.
Yeah, things are hanging from the ceiling. Things are pinned to the wall. Mm-hmm. They're adding on to the sets. It's bizarre.
No, it's fun.
I like Lego also, but not to that degree.
The show's fun because they do come up with some really good challenges, which are legitimately more entertaining than you would think for build Lego stuff.
Well, they also have 5 million bricks to choose from.
Yes, and like over 10 hours per episode.
Yeah, these builds take hours. It could be a whole day of filming.
I imagine the editor on these shows must just hate it. Because you got 10 hours worth of footage from multiple different people. Like, there's 12 contestants or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. 10 hours of footage that you have to condense down into 1 hour-long episode.
I think it would be pretty easy to do it, actually, because you would follow Will Arnett. Mm-hmm. Because he's the host, and he goes around to the tables, and then occasionally, Jamie and...
Amy? Yeah.
Okay. They'll come around and talk to them, but they're talking more technical terms, while Will's just like trying to figure out who they are as people.
Yeah, get in puns and quips.
Yep. Super duper fun.
Yeah.
Sorry I forgot that one. Now, let's talk about this one movie I was dying to watch.
Oh boy.
It is spooky season, so I figured I would kick it off with a very spooky movie.
Something spookier than Mr. Toad and Ichabod Crane.
It was so spooky, I scared that the writer might actually be racist.
It's so nonsensical. And I really wanted this movie to be good.
It is called Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
By Halloween, I know that franchise. That's the one with, what's his name? Jason?
Yeah, sure, Jason.
What's his name?
Jason Myers.
Michael Myers, sorry. There's so many of them. It's hard to keep track of them all.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean?
There's Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw.
Yep.
Jesus, stop it.
Sawman.
Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Who else is in there? Oh, Chucky.
Yep. Did you get Scream in there?
Yep. Ghostface.
Yep. So many. Too many.
No, I think that's about it.
It's just 1 7. One for every sin.
Sins aren't real. Yeah, no, you just know what franchise they're from.
So yeah, Michael Myers. That's the Halloween one. Surely this was a fun romp for his 3rd adventure.
So what happened with this movie, the producers, one of them being John Carpenter, viewed Halloween as an anthology series. And they decided to start with Michael Myers because they thought they had a good story there. And they did. I've seen the Rob Zombie remakes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I really watched. I have no interest in watching the originals.
No.
I think he did a great job of updating them. And maybe I'll watch the trilogy of Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. So because of that, the second one ends with the death of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Spoilers, okay? Anyways.
Yeah, it came out in like the 70s.
The next movie they come up with is called Season of the Witch.
Yes.
Which focuses on a totally different story.
Whole new story, whole new cast.
In fact, there's only one thing that they had in common, and there was an ad for Halloween.
Yeah. Which stopped me in my tracks, because I got up to like get water, and then I hear the like iconic theme of Halloween, and I was like, is it happening? And I was like, no, it's just playing on the TV in universe.
So Season of the Witch focuses on the death of this girl's dad, who she teams up with the doctor who took care of him before his untimely death.
Yeah, and they
start a romance.
Yeah, she spirits him away, and then immediately they're like, well, we gotta figure out what's going on with these masks, because that was the last thing he did.
He was holding on to a mask, and he wouldn't let go. They track it down to this small town in Northern California, where it's predominantly Irish.
Yeah, and they get there, and she's like, man, you know what I love to do when I'm hunting down my beloved father's murderer? Get hot and bothered. Let's have sex in the motel room, doctor. Yep. Who, afterwards, like another sex scene later, he's like, how old are you? And she just goes, ha ha ha. And it's like, wait, now.
Yeah, why are you asking now anyways? That's creepy.
The doctor also has 2 children, and they seem to be like 8. So even if this girl's 18,
They track it down to this toy manufacturer where they find out this guy is creating these masks so that he can kill and murder children.
Yes. In the name of the Samhain, which I looked it up, that has nothing to do with Samhain.
We're saying it wrong. It is the Celtic festival for fall, for the equinox.
Yes.
In which they believe there was the thinning, in which it was easier for evil spirits to enter our world.
They also used, like, fae, not just evil spirits and stuff, but also, like, fae creatures, like fairies and brownies and whatever.
Yes. And then they would hold festivals, they would hold a harvest, they would do sacrifices, animal sacrifices. I know, don't jump the gun there.
Did they? Were they sacrificing animals?
Yeah.
I don't remember reading that part. I remember reading the part about, like, they would pass out food and candy and stuff.
Yeah, and the kids would dress up as monsters so they'd blend in with the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And they would give them treats.
Yeah.
Which were nuts and apples. You can see that the traditional American Halloween has strong Celtic roots to it.
Yes.
Which is very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's fun.
But here's the thing, they would celebrate this for 3 days straight.
It's there's many similarities between this and the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos celebrations, which I implore you to look up both of them and to see all the fun similarities. Similar days, similar concepts, like celebrating your deceased, like having a seat at the dinner table dedicated for one of your past loved ones. You know?
Come back and visit you, yes. So, how is he doing this? With evil robots and a piece of Stonehenge that they stole. Yeah. Nobody noticed, and they were able to transport it all the way to Northern California.
Also, they never explained it was a piece of Stonehenge.
No, none of that was explained. You had to read that somewhere else.
Like, he gets into, like, the back of the, like, warehouse where they're making their evil things, which is just, like, a button that goes on the back of the masks. And, like, as he's walking through, you just see this monolith, and nothing about it implies Stonehenge. It doesn't look like Stonehenge, because it's just one of the rocks.
Yeah, and they're shaving it like it's soap.
And that somehow becomes, like, a button. And then the way it works is they see flashing lights of a very specific commercial that they're gonna play on Halloween, and the flashing lights somehow activates the magic inside of this Stonehenge button. And somehow that makes the person die with, like, bugs and snakes.
So this one kid dies. I didn't make this movie. And I'm just trying to tell you what happens. And you see his dead face because he's wearing a mask, and these creepy crawlies come out. And then a fucking rattlesnake Yes, that's where I'm going to leave my F-bomb.
Yeah.
A full-on, not CGI'd, live rattlesnake comes out.
Yes.
And then it shows it coil up in its classic striking position, and then strikes some dude's leg, which could have been a prosthetic.
Yes.
But when it strikes, it holds on.
Yeah.
Because it legitimately actually attacked. It attacked.
Yes.
They had a live rattlesnake on set.
Yeah.
This is not funny.
No.
This is terrifying.
It was the grossest and, to be fair, the scariest part of the movie. But it also just doesn't make sense. How did the Stonehenge button make snake? How did the bugs? How did this happen?
Also, funny thing, there are no snakes on Ireland.
Yeah.
Because St. Patrick scared them away.
And then later, this was the best part, later in the movie, in order to save the day, our Dr. Man takes a bunch of the buttons and dumps them onto the toy robot people that's working for the bad guy. But this time they don't become snakes and bugs. This time they just kind of like spark, like little flares.
Yep.
And then, alright, strap in. And then they have all these monitors playing the commercial that activates the buttons. And they all start glowing and make a ring of magic. And then the Stonehenge piece next to them starts glowing. And the evil guy's standing in between them. And he does like a coy smile I can't believe you bested me. And then the two, the magic ring and the magic stone, shoot a beam together. And it hits the man, the evil man. But he doesn't become bugs or snakes or anything. He just becomes nothing. He vanishes from reality. There's no body. There's no smoke trail. He's just gone.
Yep. And then so Doctor and girl leave, and that's the end of the movie.
Oh no, the girl was also now a toy robot. And she attacked him 3 times.
Oh yeah, he kills her. He ran the car into a tree and then had to break her apart multiple times.
Yeah, she's laying there. Her head is in one spot, her body's in another spot, and her arm is attached to the car. And he's like, I did it. And he sits down in his car, and then the arm lashes out and starts to choke him. And he throws the arm, and he's like, okay, I did it. And then the body comes back.
Yeah, I forgot how dumb I got.
The worst part, I'm gonna say, is that it's called Season of the Witch. No witches. Disappointingly so. I wanted witches.
He was a witch.
No. Not what I wanted.
Not in your traditional sense.
I wanted pointy hats and cauldrons.
So one of the things I read about this was that the original script was written by a British guy. And then the director, who's an American, got his hands on the script and rewrote it. Mm-hmm. And that's probably why it makes no sense.
I wonder which department had the anti-Irish department in them.
I did not like that. It kind of freaked me out.
It was very weird.
Especially at that time of the Americas.
Yeah.
The 70s. Where Irish immigrants were frowned upon back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
But now they would have already assimilated and became Americans.
And now we're making this whole thing villainizing an ancient Celtic holiday and also completely changing it to make it seem like they're just evil people who want to murder a bunch of children.
Yes.
Because, as the bad guy put it, quote, the stars said so.
Which a lot of people had problems with him wanting to kill children. They're like, that's not a okay plot point.
I'm fine if he wants to kill children, but have him just
You said it, not me.
Have him just be a crazy evil guy. It doesn't have to be my very specific cultural reason behind why I want to do this, implying other people of this culture would be on board with the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I wanted to talk about this last week, but it makes more sense to talk about it this week for what's coming out this week in theaters.
What comes out this week in theaters?
We'll get there.
Oh.
But obviously, The Exorcist. So in 2005, a movie came out called Dominion.
Yeah.
A Exorcist prequel.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's about I already forgot his name, but one of the priests. So much time has already passed, but one of the priests who goes off to help the girl in The Exorcist. It's about him when he was younger and how he lost his faith and then became an archaeologist in Africa.
It became like a weird, pseudo Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and uncovered a ancient church that was actually connected to Satan.
Yeah. It was played by one of the Skarsgårds.
Stellan.
Yeah, Dad Skarsgård.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Younger. He could not save it. It was a god-awful movie.
You could see he was trying his damnedest. Get it? Damnedest. He plays a priest.
Wow. I'm trying to remember this dumb movie, okay?
There's not much to remember. A lot of it is them sitting in the hospital wing being sad that bad things are happening around them.
That happens.
There was some amazing hyenas. The CG.
Yeah, so the CG, they use it only a few times towards the end to give that one kid the white face that you see in The Exorcist. Because that's the face of Satan.
Yeah.
And then, there's a snake tail that moves by them when they're in the church, but you only see its tail. You see hyenas, and at one point you see... What was it?
They do a lot of, Aurora Borealis, sky shots were CG'd.
Yep. But they're not CG.
What are they?
That was all stop motion.
Oh.
But they put it on the green screen and then put it in place.
That's weird.
It was bizarre. For 2005?
Also, the hyenas barely did anything. They could have just been dogs.
You could have, just had wild dogs.
There are wild dogs in Africa.
Yeah, that made no sense to me. It was just so bad. And this movie was so bad that after that, in 2005, they never touched the franchise again until this year of 2023. So, that's just horrible.
It's also, the perfect example of defining what a white savior movie is.
True, yeah.
Because the one white dude rolls up and saves the whole village.
To be fair, he lost at the beginning to the Nazis.
I guess.
And the Nazis.
The Nazis with their very thick German accents.
No, they didn't even hide it. It was straight up just Americans pretending they had German accents.
Yes.
It was painful. I was like, oh, man.
It was not good.
It was not.
It wasn't even, scary.
I don't think The Exorcist is that great. There's only one scene that got me, that was a little creepy. It's where she takes the crucifix and starts stabbing her genitals.
Yeah.
And she says something, and she keeps repeatedly doing it. It freaked people out in the 70s, and me watching it alone, I was like, yeah, that would freak me out too.
If you asked me what was the scariest or one of the creepiest parts of Evil Dead, the original one, it's when one of the Deadites stabs his girlfriend in the ankle and just the pencil goes through her whole ankle and she's tearing the flesh off.
She's tearing out the Achilles tendon.
Because just it's practical and it's gross and creepy because you could do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw The Exorcist. I wasn't into horror movies until more recently in my life. Meeting you really, introduced the horror movie craze.
That would make sense. Mm-hmm. If you want to watch a scary, old, classic horror movie, Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
It's terrifying. Mm-hmm. You want to go see another scary one? Go watch The Omen, the original Omen.
Is it,
Damien?
I quote that movie all the time. Goodbye. I did it all for you. I say that so often.
Yes, you do. There's a scary moment in the Omen where they go to a grave and they dig it up and they find the skeleton of a baby.
Ooh.
And it's very much implied that was actually their child and that somebody swapped out their kid, killed it, buried it, and swapped it out with Damien.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I was like, that's creepy.
They really didn't hold back in the day. And then, and now you see things like the new Exorcist movie that's coming out this week, where maybe they just don't want to show all their tricks and secrets in the trailers, but it just looks like the same old, like, oh, it's a little kid wearing a lot of makeup and they yell.
Yep.
Ooh, spooky.
So it is the box office trolls time.
Yeah.
Well, we already are in it, but I won. Just saying.
We all won today.
I won. I don't know how, because Friday's numbers said Saw 10 was number one.
Yep.
But over the weekend, $22 million went to Paw Patrol, the mighty movie. Good job, guys.
The heroes we needed. I saw a display in the store with them, and I was like, yeah, Paw Patrol.
The dogs. Number 2, Saw 10 at $18 million. Stop. Get out.
He's got to shake the sleep off.
It's not time to hang out, guys.
What they're...
Number 3, The Creator, which was that sci-fi movie. That was like the greatest sci-fi movie of all time, coming in at number 3 for $14 million.
It looks so boring. It looks so basic.
I knew it had nothing on Paw Patrol.
Also, I just want to say the dogs woke up and started making noises once we started talking about Paw Patrol. They want to watch it too.
I'll watch Paw Patrol, but first I'll watch Saw.
Yes.
Number 4, The Nun 2.
Yeah.
Number 5, The Blind.
Well, I bet I know why Paw Patrol made it to number 1. There's all these horror movies, and that's the only thing that's, like, not horror related that you and your family and kids can go and see.
It's a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Yeah.
And its competition was literally targeted towards adults.
Yes.
I would say Saw 10's actually targeted towards teenagers.
Yeah.
I was in high school when I started watching Saw.
I remember I was in elementary school when those movies were coming out.
Yeah, the first 2 came out. I remember some kids talking about it in class, and they're like, it's so scary and gory. I don't find them scary. They are gory, but super fun.
I remember 1 scared me. It was 2. I found that out. I was like 8 years old, and I was walking through the living room because my mother really loved these movies, and she was watching it. And it's the trap where the girl like is reaching up, and her hand gets stuck in the thing,
In the box.
and then she gets her other hand up, and it also gets stuck. And I just saw it like at a glance out the corner of my eye, but it freaked me out because like the idea of being trapped and stuck there with your hands like that.
Yep. Number 6, A Haunting in Venice.
Woo!
Number 7, Dumb Money.
Yeah!
Number 8, The Equalizer 3.
Cool.
Number 9, Expendables.
Yeah.
And number 10, Barbie.
Wow, still in the top 10.
Yep.
11 weeks in. Where's Oppenheimer? Oh, down there at 16.
At 16.
Sorry, Oppenheimer.
Blue Beetle just above it.
Oh, Blue Beetle. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
TMNT, that also.
Gran Turismo.
Wow.
The feel-good movie of the year.
Is it?
That's what they marketed it as.
I cannot get myself to care about Cars. I've tried. I barely care about the animated Cars.
Cars was good, but Cars 2 really took it out of me.
I never watched it.
It's so bad.
I just hate Mater. And it's all Mater.
It's all Mater. They should have just called it Cars, all Mater. It's all Mater. So what's coming out this week? Obviously, Exorcist Believer.
Maybe it'll be really good.
The reviews are horrible.
Ugh.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. A return to the original format of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And it will be one of the last Assassin's Creeds ever made.
High hopes for this one.
They're really going to actually try and stop making these things.
Well, they say that. We'll see.
Well, Project Code Red is going to be feudal Japan. Mm-hmm. And I think that's supposed to be the last one. Which I was like, that's the one people have been asking for over 10 years, and you're going to give it to us at the very end?
Yeah, that's how they roll.
Jerks. And on Wednesday, tomorrow, if you're listening to later, it's already happened, Loki Season 2 will drop.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, little news about the Marvels. It will be the shortest MCU movie of all time, coming in at 105 minutes. Mm-hmm. If we can account 20 minutes of credits, because they usually take forever.
So, yeah. It'll probably be 90 minutes ish.
85 minutes.
This was supposed to be like a 4-episode long miniseries. I can tell.
There's no way you can tell a compelling story in 85 minutes.
I don't know. I guess, like, what do they do? Maybe they're like, the movies are too long. That's what the problem is. There's too much character growth going on here.
No, you could have added 30 more minutes onto Quantumanium. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it would have fixed it, but it probably would have helped it.
Look at that dog. So, with Loki season 2, I think it has big shoes to fill from the first one.
It wasn't that good either.
It wasn't, but a lot of people liked it, and now it's like, well, how do we move forward from there?
I'm just excited for more Kang.
I'm excited for all the other characters, honestly.
Yeah, so that was Garbage Eggs.
Yeah.
Sorry, coffee break.
Oh, yeah.
If you're watching this, you have the ability to watch it, you will have seen that I've changed the Garbage Eggs thing.
The visuals, the coffee break thing?
Yep. Gee, I said Garbage Eggs again, didn't I?
It's late.
That's all that's running through my mind. I'm like, I need to get back to it.
It looks so smooth. Look at how pretty that looks.
And it looks like a screensaver.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the point. Get you more into the fall festive season and just be happy. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll be back next week.
Yep.
With another new episode.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, bye.